Ladies and gentlemen, Lehigh Northampton Airport Authority Board of Governors Chairman, John Hayes.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Lehigh Northampton Airport Authority, the Board of Governors, and our leadership team and staff, welcome to the new TSA checkpoint and terminal connector at Lehigh Valley International Airport. As board chair, we are all focused on the continued success and expansion of the airport to meet the needs of today's and tomorrow's passengers. I'll tell you, I'm also a frequent flyer of the airport, and to see this improvement is just phenomenal. I'm going to show my age here, but I remember flying out of the old terminal, which still stands a little bit away from here, and to see where we are today is just tremendous. Standing here with members of the Board of Governors and our team, there's an overwhelming sense of pride for all of us. This facility is a game changer, and for ABE and for the Lehigh Valley. So we're very happy to be able to open it. It's my role today to recognize members of our federal, state, and local legislative delegations that are here and are joining us. So we'll go through the list. I will try to move this quickly. There are a large number of representatives here, but we want to make sure that we recognize everyone. So first, we're very happy today to recognize Secretary of the Department of Transportation, Peter Buttigieg. Welcome, Secretary. Governor of the Great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro. Congresswoman Susan Wild. Representing Senator Bob Casey is Amy Cozy. Representing Senator John Fetterman is Sabrina McLaughlin. Representing State Senator Lisa Boscola is Jacob Glessner. Senator Nick Miller is here today. Representing State Representative Ann Flood is Melanie Whiteleather. Representative Zach Mako is here today. Representative Ryan McKenzie. Representative Jeannie McNeil. Representative Mike Schlossberg. Representative Josh Siegel. Representative Joe Emmerich. And Representative Steve Samuelson. We're fortunate today to have both of our county executives here, Lehigh County Executive Phillips Armstrong and Northampton County Executive Lamont McClure. Also, the mayors of the three cities are here today. We have Allentown Mayor Matt Turk, Easton Mayor Sal Panto, and Bethlehem Mayor Willie Reynolds. And then finally, we have two people from Hanover Township today. We're located in Hanover Township, so we're happy to welcome Melissa Ware and Bruce Paulus. So thank you again, everyone, and welcome to the Connector.
It to its new widely concourse.
From an overall design process perspective, it's got everything. It's got a bridge, it's got a tunnel, it's got escalators, it's got elevators, it's got a security checkpoint. It's got so many compelling elements. Each one of them is going to make the passenger experience really special.
It's about the potential growth and service to the community to have ABE Airport ready to put itself down in Pennsylvania as one of the preferred travel destinations.
Please welcome Lehigh Northampton Airport Authority Executive Director, Tom Stout.
Well, good morning. This $35 million infrastructure investment alleviates a number of operational challenges, but also elevates the customer experience for all of our passengers aboard Allegiant, American, Delta, and United. For example, an extra TSA screening lane will increase our throughput from the 400 passengers per hour from our existing checkpoint processing to 700 passengers per hour in this new space. We've also created offices for the TSA in this space to improve their operational efficiency. Additionally, we have Synec's digital display totems here as a visual communication tool for important TSA messaging. Instead of 3 escalator or elevator rides required today to get to the gate, there is now only 1 vertical transition required to get from ticket counter to takeoff. We've been able, in this new space, to separate our inbound and our outbound passenger flow. We focused on health and safety. LifeAir has been installed, a Lehigh Valley-born air purification system that reduces airborne pathogens by 99% while achieving a 96% reduction in harmful surface pathogens. We are the first airport in the world to integrate this medical-grade air purification into an airport facility. But our eye was also on environmental sustainability. This project is pursuing LEED Gold certification. With the inclusion of electrochromatic windows, you see just to my side, this building was designed from the ground up to be highly energy efficient. What a change when I stand here and think about that in May of 2021, we held a groundbreaking ceremony for this project. Now, just over 2 years later, we're standing in exactly the same location, but inside this remarkable facility. I would have to say that the success of this project can be boiled down to 3 key elements: service, perseverance, and commitment. Service is not just one of our core values. Service is what this airport is known for. We serve the community, we serve our region, and we serve this Commonwealth. But make no mistake, this project wasn't just a nice-to-have addition for our airport. It was critical infrastructure that was needed to not only continue to serve our current demand, but to serve our growing region. Perseverance. We built this project in the middle of one of the most turbulent moments in our country, the COVID-19 pandemic. We faced supply chain issues. We faced labor shortages. Yet here we are today. Thank you to Bracey Construction, thank you to Wind Gap Electric, thank you to Guy Cooper Plumbing, and thank you to Master Mechanical. Also thanks to ADCI, Aurora Engineers, the Steward Partnership, the entire project team, and our Lehigh Northampton Airport Authority Board of Governors and staff. Together, we achieved this. At this time, I would like to welcome to the stage 2 members of Wind Gap Electric and of the IBEW, Mr. Bill Lieb and Mr. Michael McLean. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Secretary Buttigieg, Governor Shapiro, Senator Casey, Congresswoman Wild, and other distinguished guests. It is an honor to see you here at Lehigh Valley International on the occasion of this ribbon cutting. My name is Bill Lieb. I'm a 43-year veteran of the IBEW Local 375, working for Wind Gap Electric as a project foreman. I'm retiring in a few months, and I've spent 18 years of my career at this airport. I am thrilled to see the completion of this phase of the Connector project. Over the years, I have overseen the work of the departure building, the runway and taxiway lights, and the new FAA tower. I am excited that I will finish my career overseeing the last short phase of the connector project renovating the tunnel. On behalf of the IBW, I am happy to add my voice to this discussion about the importance of infrastructure improvements at key transportation hubs that are rebuilding America, back better under the Biden-Harris administration. The IBW Allentown Local 375 includes 800 brothers and sisters working in Lehigh, Carbon, and Northampton counties. The majority of the Local 375 members are in the construction industry, working for commercial and industrial contractors. Aside from the airport, Local 375 have been busy on new building projects in downtown Allentown, as well as college campuses and hospitals. Soon, Local 375 members will be at work building a new solar array at Lehigh University. Fortunately, Allentown has been on an economic swing since Billy Joe sang about it. Both FedEx and Amazon have operations at this key East Coast air hub to serve millions of square feet of warehouse space. Additionally, in cooperation with our employer partners, we train electrical workers at no cost to taxpayers. We are receiving recent federal and state grants for the purpose. Local 375 has increased our outreach to the underserved, underrepresented communities in downtown Allentown, particularly for women and people of color. This workforce readiness program promotes the electrical construction industry and prepares students with an interest in programs for apprenticeships. Thanks to the high labor standards and certification requirements of the Inflation Reduction Act and bipartisan infrastructure law, there is growing interest in the IBW. We are steadily marketing market share inroads in the non-union sector, both through organization and expansion of our apprenticeship program. Locally and nationally, the IBW represents the opportunity to extend family-sustaining union membership advantages like fair wages and health and retirement benefits that are a gold standard in our industry. These allow not only individual families, but communities to prosper and rebuild the middle class from the bottom up and the middle out, as President Biden has been known to say. And with that scope and size of investments in the recent past laws, now is an incredible moment to be a union electrician. In closing, the IBW stands with Biden-Harris administration intention that these groundbreaking new laws will rebuild the country's flagging infrastructure while lifting all Americans up with the jobs of the future.
Well, thank you, Bill, and thank you, Michael. Appreciate your comments. You know, just a moment ago, I mentioned that we achieved this project together, and I would not be standing here today without the support, the strong support of our federal and state officials and partners. It is my distinct pleasure to now introduce the governor of this Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro.
Thank you. It's a good day here in the Lehigh Valley, and it's good to see all of you here. This is what it looks like when government at every level, local, state, and federal, come together to make meaningful investments in our communities. Federal, local, and state officials work together to get this done. And I'm proud to be here on behalf of the 13 million wonderful people here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to celebrate not just this airport, but the entire Lehigh Valley. This expansion should send a clear message that Allentown and the Lehigh Valley are ready to drive innovation and economic opportunity on a national and global scale. You know, our administration has a particular attitude to it. We call it the GSD attitude, the get, stuff done attitude. And you know what I love about the Lehigh Valley? You have the same attitude, that grittiness, that toughness, that desire to always be better and to always get big things done. This community understands instinctively that when you invest in infrastructure, good economic opportunities and job creation comes. That's why I love being here in the Lehigh Valley. We share that same attitude. And so now, after just 2 years of construction, Lehigh Valley International Airport is ready to begin this new chapter, opening up this new 40,000 square foot expansion. Thanks to the work of more than 100 union workers. Did I say union workers? You just heard from Bill, one of our great IBEW members from Local 375. The travel experience here at ABE will be easier and it will be quicker. More passengers will be able to safely and efficiently get through security and get to their flights. And importantly, this region will have a world-class gateway to the rest of the country so that the Lehigh Valley can continue to thrive and succeed. Look, this region is already one of the fastest growing regions in our Commonwealth, and investing in our infrastructure now gives us the opportunity to supercharge that growth. The Lehigh Valley has long been an economic leader in Pennsylvania, but let's be frank, it's too often had to take a back seat to some other regions in Pennsylvania. Today we say no longer, no longer. We are building on the rich tradition of manufacturing and innovation here in the Lehigh Valley, and thanks to your work, that tradition now can evolve and grow stronger every single year. Your economic and civic leaders here have forged a unique partnership. Business, labor, government, chambers of commerce, local, state, and federal officials all coming together around a shared vision. You have built that partnership over time, and that's not easy to do in our politics today. Republicans and Democrats at every level being together around a shared vision. Here in the Lehigh Valley, you have a plan, and you are executing it. And this project is the most recent component of that shared vision. I want you to know that the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania will continue to support that vision, to partner with you, and we will be there for you every step of the way, because I know we have so much potential here and so much good to build on here. But I want you to know that if we're going to fulfill that potential, not just here, but in communities all across Pennsylvania, then our Commonwealth needs to come together behind projects like this and use them as examples of what we can do when we work together around a shared vision. Our Commonwealth was a major supporter, as you heard, of this project, investing nearly $13 million into this expansion. And we, of course, worked closely with our federal partners to bring additional dollars here to ABE. I want to thank your federal official who has been on the front lines of making this happen every step of the way. That's your United States Congresswoman, Susan Wild, who made sure we got this done. She is tenacious when it comes to bringing resources back to this region. And I want to give special thanks to my friend Secretary Pete Buttigieg, who's here. And by the way, not here for the first time. This is his second trip here, once during the construction, now once Secretary Pete with these shiny floors. Secretary Pete cares deeply about this region, about this Commonwealth, about making sure we improve our aviation infrastructure across Pennsylvania, and it's an honor to have you here. We appreciate you very much. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And I know the Congresswoman and the Secretary would both agree with me when I say we have to give major props to President Joe Biden to make sure that the resources made it here to Pennsylvania. We applaud and thank the President. I know he sort of figures everything in Pennsylvania around its proximity to Scranton, and we're pretty close to Scranton, so that's good for the Lehigh Valley, and we appreciate the President, and most importantly, I appreciate the fact that government came together at every level to get this done, to make sure that they took that GSD attitude that exists here in the Lehigh Valley and put it to good use to make sure this airport expansion was done. We're going to continue to support the continued growth here in the Lehigh Valley to compete, not just in Pennsylvania, but all across the globe. And I want you to think of this new terminal as a gateway for that competition to take hold elsewhere. Listen, when a breakthrough happens at one of our great biotech firms, here in the Lehigh Valley, scientists and researchers and business people and others are going to get on a plane right here at ABE to share that technology with the rest of the world. When companies and investors want to take advantage of this region's skilled workforce and its strategic location in the United States, they're going to come through this airport before they make an investment. And the work that we are celebrating here today will make sure that this community continues to thrive. And this is the kind of work we need to replicate all across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. My administration will continue to be an active partner here in the Lehigh Valley to celebrate your great accomplishments and make sure that this infrastructure project becomes a foundation for so much more in the Lehigh Valley. Thank you to all of you who made this possible. I'm honored to be with you today. Thank you.
Promoting this airport is, number one, easy to do. Number two, something we're really proud of, and just a good thing for the Valley. What this whole development will mean is incredible. Makes it even more special. More people through, easier for travelers. And when I'm traveling, which is often, I ask people, where are you from? More and more I see people from all over the place that are coming here because it's a phenomenal, phenomenal airport.
The importance of this expansion, it allows the airport to move more passengers through the airport. More flights, more destinations, and all of that translates to a benefit for the people who live in the Lehigh Valley or who use the airport, the companies and the residents of the Lehigh Valley. The airport and the airport's growth is critical to the growth and the health of the Lehigh Valley.
When employers look to invest in an area, they look to certain things. They look to a growing workforce, they look to the cost of doing business, but they also look at those public assets that will support their businesses. And the airport, obviously, is a big part of that.
Not only is it going to be an incredible experience for the people that are living here in Lehigh Valley, it's going to give people the opportunity to experience a world-class airport in what normally would be considered a small regional. And just having that added value to your travel experience, it makes things quicker for you. So this expansion is, I think, going to bring in an excitement to the area, and it's going to get travelers to want to come in and out of this airport even more. With all the great things that are happening in the Lehigh Valley, this is just going to be a great piece to that puzzle, which is going to help us grow into the next few decades ahead of where we thought we would be.
It is our pleasure to welcome United States Congresswoman Susan Wild.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Governor, for recognizing that the greater Lehigh Valley really is the center of the universe when it comes to Pennsylvania, or at least that's our objective, and we indeed have finally made it above the radar. For far too long, this area has had to play second fiddle to certain other parts of our state, wonderful parts of our state, but we're really happy with everything that's happening here. And thank you so much, Secretary Buttigieg, for being here, and thank you to all of you. This has really been the result of just so many people's efforts to bring this together. I have traveled out of this airport many, many times, although not as many times as I would have liked to, simply because of fewer flights, TSA restrictions, and that kind of thing. And so I'm really hoping that all of our community will be able to soon consider this to be their main airport. And not just people from the Lehigh Valley. People from northeastern Pennsylvania, people from New Jersey, people who don't want to travel to Philadelphia or Newark, and I just think we're on the cusp of that. The Lehigh Valley International Airport, otherwise commonly fondly known as ABE, has served as a critical piece of infrastructure and economic driver for our community since 1946. It's provided jobs, it's brought visitors, and it's connected our thriving local economy to the rest of the country and the world. It feels like yesterday, but it's been just 1 year since I last welcomed Secretary Buttigieg to the Lehigh Valley for a tour of this expansion project, which was then in progress. At that point, we were wearing steel-toed boots and hard hats. This is actually my third time here since the project started. The first time there were no walls, and as I recall, it was a winter day and we were exposed to the elements, and so it's really, really cool to see it come along. But thank you for being here from beginning to end. We've truly come full circle. This project is one of the very first projects to be funded, constructed, and now completed, thanks to the bipartisan infrastructure law. And I can't tell you how proud I am to have been part of that historic legislation that upgrades our nation's infrastructure. This is just the beginning, folks. I think you're going to hear that from the Secretary, but that bill delivered a $5 million investment in ABE. I'm also proud that my office fought for an additional $600,000 in federal funding through the Community Project Funding Program to further support the completion of this important project. And obviously, I couldn't be prouder than to see these investments getting off the ground to modernize our airport and to allow our greater Lehigh Valley economy to soar to even greater heights. Investing in our infrastructure is investing in our economy. And I often make the distinction when I am talking to folks about federal spending. There's a difference between frivolous spending and investment. We do it in our own lives. When you buy a new heating system for its energy efficiency or new windows in your home, that's an investment. Buying a hot tub for the backyard is frivolous. This is an investment in our community and an investment in our country. And so what we are going to be able to do by expanding ABE's TSA screening capabilities and overall capacity, we're growing transportation across Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton, and beyond, which is going to pay dividends for our status as a continually growing economic hub on the eastern seaboard. And you all know that that is what we are. We've got this great geographic location. This is the perfect complement to our location and our unbelievable industries and businesses here. And our workers. We have been creating good union jobs for people like Bill and Michael who from Gwynn Gap Electric to grow our economy while putting working people first. It's their labor that made all of this possible, and that's really something to celebrate. And let me give a shout out to organized labor and the tremendous quality of their work here. But there are so many people who were instrumental in making this project happen. Incredible leadership at ABE and the Lehigh Northampton Airport Authority. Our local partners whose advocacy demonstrated just how impactful this project would be on our community. And Governor, you mentioned this community as having sort of that GSD attitude. And one of the reasons that we do is because we really come together. It is labor, industry, businesses, people, municipalities that really come together and make things happen, and it make me so proud to represent this district. But the workers whose labor quite literally built this expansion deserve that special shout out that I mentioned. Our state partners, the governor, our state representatives, state legislature, PennDOT, who understand that investments in transportation infrastructure like ABE mean economic growth in communities like ours. I do want to give another special shout out to the founder of Life Air. You heard mentioned before that there is a very special pure air purification system here that was put in by Life Air. It was founded by Catherine Warlow. She's way over there. Catherine, say hello. Catherine founded Life Air here in our district. It is woman-founded, woman-run. And their company has not only put the incredible filtration system in here, but also in our local hospitals and elsewhere. But really just a crowning success for our community. So I've been really proud to work alongside all of you in delivering this critical investment, and it just is so great to celebrate its completion. And right now, I am just truly excited to turn it over to the leader who has been a tremendous partner in making this all happen. Someone who has paid very close attention to our community and to this airport through the project's process over the last couple of years, and who has, of course, played a huge role in the work of rebuilding our nation's infrastructure and investing in America so that our economy will work for working people. And even more than that, I'm proud to introduce an incredible human being who I'm very proud to call a friend, U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg.
Wow. Well, good morning. And thank you very much, Representative. This is a great day. When you are in the business of supporting and growing and improving American infrastructure, it's hard to think of a better occasion than one like what we're gathering for right now. And I'm sure you already know this, but you have a fiercely effective advocate for this region in Representative Susan Wild. So thanks for everything that you do. And let's be very clear, we would not be here with this funding were it not for the legislation that she and so many of her colleagues supported to actually put our money where our mouth is as a country and say that if we're going to remain the world's leader in the 21st century, we've got to have 21st century infrastructure to support it. And that has to reach communities of all sizes, every form of transportation. And that's what has been made possible through that bipartisan infrastructure law. And it feels good, doesn't it, to be back just a year after she welcomed me here last when things looked pretty different around here. I was trying to use my imagination then to see what it would look like when it was polished. Now I'm using my imagination and relying on those photos to remember what it looked like as we were in our hard hats, seeing all the good work going on here. And I want to acknowledge Senators Fetterman and Casey, who I've been in touch with leading up to this visit, who are also such important parts of the leadership that has made it possible to get projects like this done. Governor Shapiro, it makes such a difference to have that get stuff done attitude in state leadership. It makes it easier for us to be a good partner at the federal level, and it demonstrates, I think, to people that when you cut across partisan lines and jurisdictional lines and any other barrier you can tear down to make sure people are better served, that everyone is in fact better off. And that spirit has been demonstrated in the extraordinary work that got cars moving again on I-95 weeks or months before people would have thought were possible. And it's been demonstrated right here, too. So I'm so glad to be with state leadership, or I should say Commonwealth leadership here in Pennsylvania, that understands the importance of transportation infrastructure and that partnership. And it's just such a pleasure to be surrounded by local leaders. After my own heart as a former mayor, the county and local leaders whose pride is contagious in the Lehigh Valley and in your communities that I know are going to benefit from this. The state representatives and everyone who has had a hand in getting us to this point. The Airport Authority, so glad to hear from the Executive Director, Chairman Hayes, and everybody on the board. You have a lot to be proud of in this work. And I was so glad that we heard from Bill Lieb and saw Michael McLean and the contractors and workers that they represent. Bill, that retirement, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. That retirement is well deserved, so congratulations on that. But thanks to you and all of your fellow union workers for the extraordinary skill and expertise that went into this. And I also want to amplify what you said about reaching out to a new generation of workers, including women and workers of color who might not have imagined that this kind of work was for them, but who are going to benefit from those good paying jobs. And we're going to benefit too, because the proportions of what we're doing around the country are so great that we will not make it if we leave any talent on the table. So this is a season for calling people into those crafts, and I'm glad that's on your mind, even as you wrap an extraordinary career that has included so much work to make this airport a great place. This was among the very first projects that we were able to announce last year that we funded through that bipartisan infrastructure law that the president fought so hard for, that Susan Wild and her colleagues in Congress made possible. And by the way, I would mention, even though we now talk about it as if it was never going to be any other way, legislation that was declared dead, I don't know how many times before we actually got it over the line. But we knew that it would make a difference in projects like this. And now that this is complete, passengers are going to be able to get through security and get to their gate more quickly, more conveniently, more simply, which means a better and easier experience for everyone. It means more people will choose this airport in the first place. And it means those ambitions for growth that we heard are going to be made good on. And this is part of a wave of efforts going on around the country. This is actually my second time in about a week being in Pennsylvania. I was with the First Lady in Pittsburgh, where we're funding a new terminal there that's got improved security and better baggage handling and waiting areas, and importantly, taking steps like making sure there is on-site childcare so that working parents have a better shot at getting in those good-paying jobs, and we're proud to see that. Before that, we were in Cedar Rapids, Iowa a couple months ago. They're working on expanding the passenger terminal there. They're adding new gates. They're improving accessibility for passengers with disabilities. We have funded new gates in Orlando, better restrooms in Chattanooga, faster security checkpoints, baggage drop-offs, custom areas, boarding zones, and more in about 200 airports around this country. And it can't come soon enough, because we are seeing Americans return to the skies at an extraordinary pace. It's strange to reflect that just 2 years ago, when I was first working in this job, the big question around American aviation was whether the airlines were going to stay in business at all. Now it's about how we are keeping up with the growing demand, and this is a big part of that. It's why the infrastructure law is helping fund projects like this, which we haven't normally done with federal dollars. We've mostly stuck to the back of the house, the aprons and the towers and the lights. We're still doing that. But this time we're doing the passenger-facing work as well, knowing that these airports are also major economic centers and powerhouses for the regions. And I know how important this project in this airport is for this entire Lehigh Valley region. But it's also a very special project for me, because we have now announced about 37,000 projects that are benefiting from funding in the infrastructure law. And among those 37,000, they're on that list because all of them have been announced or identified. Some of them have gotten as far as getting the funding agreement through and having the money start to flow. A smaller number of them are among that set that have already had a shovel turn or dirt fly. But this is the very first one that I've been able to be at, where we are celebrating the completion of a project that was supported partly through dollars in that infrastructure law, knowing that there's thousands more where that came from, and we are thrilled. And now we're going to see more and more where this came from. Dirt flying at construction sites across the country, and thinking about how many places, large and small, are going to benefit from that propels us in this work. And I would add, something that doesn't automatically happen in infrastructure projects. As a matter of fact, we're trying to change this, but as a general rule, it doesn't happen most of the time. We're going to change that. But you delivered this project on task, on time, and on budget. And we're looking for more where that came from, too. That really matters, because even though we have historic levels of funding now to repair our roads and fix our bridges and expand public transit and modernize ports and improve our airports and make our infrastructure more resilient, even $1.2 trillion will be gone before we know it if we don't work thoughtfully and resourcefully to put every dollar to the best use and to know that every day counts. Exactly what we've been working toward at USDOT. Just this week, opening a new center of excellence to bring together the expertise and the resources to make sure that we get that done, and that we know is happening with the excellent work happening at the state and local level, too. Secondly, there's not a moment to lose. We are seeing reminders everywhere of the urgency of shoring up our infrastructure and preparing it for the next generation. Whether it was that bridge collapse coming close to home again in Pittsburgh that we saw a year ago, again with remarkable work that then went into restoring it at the Fern Hollow Bridge. Whether it's the roads washed away by floods in Vermont as the threat of climate change accelerates, whether it's the loss of life that we endure every single day in this country to roadway crashes that could be prevented, including the tragic crash 1 week ago on Roosevelt Boulevard in Philadelphia. We know that there is not a moment to lose to make these improvements. And I should mention that stretch of road, which is about 60 miles from where we're standing, is one of the deadliest in the country, which is why we funded a project there that is going to install new medians, realign crosswalks, update traffic signals, and create dedicated bus and transit lanes to make Roosevelt Boulevard safer for Pennsylvanians. And we're going to be funding similar safety efforts in communities across the country, including right here in Allentown, and I want to applaud that Vision Zero safety focus that you brought here, Mayor, and that we've been speaking about with the mayors and county executives earlier today. Because better infrastructure isn't just for infrastructure geeks like me. Better infrastructure saves lives. Better infrastructure benefits people whether you're thinking about it or not. Matter of fact, you're best off when you don't have to think about it, and you're thinking about whatever else brings meaning to your life. And then leave it to all of us who live and breathe this to be excited about the finer points of it. The point of infrastructure is that it connects people to the resources and the opportunities that we all need. And that's why we are working so hard, not just to get funding out the door, but to help make sure communities can deliver on those projects as quickly and efficiently as possible. Because I have said at many groundbreakings that the only thing better than a groundbreaking is a ribbon cutting. And that's why, again, it's especially rewarding to be here at this reveal, at this celebration. It probably wouldn't have been appropriate to bring scissors to his TSA checkpoint, so we did it a different way. But the bottom line is that we're going to see more and more projects like this one to completion. So congratulations. There was more where this came from, and we are just getting started. Thanks again for the chance to be with you.
At Fulton Bank, our purpose is to change lives for the better. We understand the importance of this project for the continued growth of the airport. Expanding and enhancing the airport supports our local economy and the growth of our local businesses.
People Security Bank is involved in several ways with the airport. We rent from the airport or for one of our locations, and then also we're involved in the financing of the new interchange project for the TSA terminal. So I think it's really great the progress they're making. I mean, from where they started with the pandemic and then supply chain issues and how much they've had to kind of overcome. And then as you can see, the construction is still going on right now.
So when you look at it, this $35 million project here at the Lehigh Valley Airport, Fidelity Bank was really excited about getting involved, and you see the economic impact that had here in Lehigh Valley.
The airport's the gateway to the region. No better reason for us to understand the importance of collaborating to make sure that these experiences for everyone are as good as possible, as well as helping our local individuals with their travels abroad.
I think the importance of supporting the Terminal Connector project is the airport is such an integral part of the valley and the business economics of things.
This is such a great project for all the community banks to get together because, again, the impact, to bring a project to life of this magnitude is really incredible.
Working with the airport has been phenomenal, and this whole project is just an amazing experience for us. We're so proud to be a part of it. Again, I truly believe that this is going to impact the ability for people to travel out of the Lehigh Valley and do it in a way that's extremely pleasant experience for everyone.
Please welcome Lehigh Northampton Airport Authority Executive Director, Tom Stout.
Well, earlier I mentioned there were three key elements to the success of this project: service, perseverance, and as we just heard about, commitment. Nearly $19 million of funding from the federal and state government has demonstrated their strong commitment and the vision for this project. And as you just watched, there's been a strong financial commitment from a local bank consortium, including Fulton Bank, People's Security Bank, and Fidelity Bank. There are many representatives from those banks here today, and we thank them for sharing our vision. Together, we have streamlined the way people will travel through ABE. Together, we have positioned this airport for growth by investing in infrastructure. And together, we have taken the next step towards achieving our vision of being the best regional airport in North America. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. Feel free to take a self-guided tour through the facility.